here is the last time I went to the Mount Yaminiska site and discovered these other guardians and what looks to be a mountain complex and evidence of macro forming on a ridiculous layer. My original footage, obviously. So anyone who is able to afford a $1, $5 donation here and there, or anything above and beyond, is appreciated and will go into funding getting me out here for a couple days to backpack with the drone and a couple of others to explore and be safe. And also, I do have I should have enough covered as it is right now to cover the Medicine Hat Badlands Guardians trip. So doing raising for other future ones like this, like Drumheller Excess. like, this is the craziest carved stairway. Oh, no audio. Sorry about that. Oh yeah, and I love that dog. And T2, he's Tito 2. He's the second incarnation of the same dog that I had. It's funny how that works. All right, the video I am playing, it is here. So this is the carved stairwell and passage in the cliffway. Tucks away back there. And the different guardians at the bottom, at the base there. And that this is, it's like hidden there, like 3 in, but that still is the very first mountain formation of the Rockies. Like, that's the first going in. Quite fascinating. I think it goes into an under mountain passage and way as well. So right to the right here and up of where I just you just saw on the right side of the mountain there, that was still on Mount Yaminiska. That is where the Montana megaliths. There was the one that was like robotic guardian or something that it was dubbed as or whatever. The same image, that same formation, carving thingy, whatever the heck you want to call it, exact same thing there on Mount Yaminiska, literally just 20 feet to the right of this stone right here, right at the top there, at the beginning of that cliff is where that robot guardian on Yaminiska is. And seeing identical repeating I guess constructions and monuments. Yeah, monuments would be what those would be called, referred to essentially, on multiple sites. All right, enough of that. Now, one last Brucey bonus of alternative history before doing the battery electric car presentation, and that is Rex Bear on scene today of other geoglyph sites, petroglyph sites, and it is the original site Dutch since discovered a few months back. Then the mainstream tried to call him racist and attacked him for being a racist for the discovery of it, simply for saying it was like First Nations or like the wrong political it was just ridiculous. And then of course all of the indigenous people that he talked to himself all were ecstatic of the find and appreciated everything he did. Point being, it's usually in this snowflake clown backwards cancel culture ridiculousness of a lost transgenderation of people that often the ones lashing out, attacking, claiming that some people are doing offensive or harmful activities towards another, like aka racist activities, whatever the heck, it's usually not even the people of the minority that are supposedly being targeted that are claiming that offense is happening to them. It's actually usually a hidden crypto group of manipulators that in fact are using racial tensions to divide, conquer, and divide the people, the world, and spread hate and prevent any change or pressure happening on their own disgusting evil control. And that is my rant on that. Is this what the... Of course, like, worked 100 times before. Now, it doesn't want to go full screen for this video, so I don't know. Hopefully the sound works, but it's not doing exit full screen. Why does it think I'm in full screen? Anyways, so when I was bringing up to Shem about an hour ago, this specific site that has these geoglyph and carving stuffs, and then the waters in between. So earthenworks, waters, earthenworks. This is the one.
That's like mosquito heaven out here. They're everywhere.
Well, we could see it from the aerial photographs too, but there's a network of canals in here.
Okay.
Which look a little darker green or lighter, depending on the grasses that are in them. And for some reason, they had them laid out over this prairie. Now, they might have been growing some kind of crop in here.
So I just ordered some more collagen from healthofleet.com, as you can. I think we're coming onto an earthwork right here. Is that one?
Yeah, this is the plus-shaped pond. This is the first canal. You see, you just come over.
Oh, yeah.
It's like Alaska. There's a swarm of.
Oh, man. Yeah, these suckers are pissed. Referring to the mosquitoes out here. See, it's about foot deep right now. Not a foot. Bigfoot. Yeah, because we're on it right now, huh?
Yeah,
this is it.
Well, this is one of the plus-shaped.
We're literally oh, there it is.
The first one.
Nice.
And this would be a geoglyph. This raised, whatever this raised area here.
Yeah. Geoglyph.
So we're on a geoglyph right now.
Geoglyph.
And nobody knows it except for us.
Because it can only be seen from space.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
And mosquitoes might know.
It connects.
And then it's interesting. You pointed out there's this tube, like vent tube, just sticking out. So what's that for? Where's the water going? Some ducks, some geese.
Not only are there swarms of rush,
Shout out to Fellowship of the Dings, King of the Dings, Lord Dutch Sense, the earthquake forecaster, and his discovery of this geoglyph location that Rex and Diamond are currently exploring and verifying, and have found the actual geoglyph earthworks. And, well, that's one swampy step for archaeological recovery of indigenous history and remapping this world. And look at these, like, how the water, like,
I'm just swarmed by mosquitoes right now.
The canals.
They're eating me.
Still in there. No wonder you're getting eaten by mosquitoes if the entire thing is a swamp. But that's fascinating to see that it is swamp, yet there's the shapes that are just water with no grass, and then the others that are above that are land and then the geoglyphs, and that it's still swamp the entire way through.
You can feel them when they bite you. It's like they just stick a pin right at
the swamp here could have potentially been like rice paddies. I'm sure it wasn't rice, but that's
amazing.
I don't know.
I love it.
Into some flood terrain.
Are you telling?
Yeah.
So we're in one of these two ponds.
In these areas. That's why it's.
And we just
today
walked on that geoglyph, I think, right there. That's where we're standing right now. As we get eaten alive.
Yeah, I guess I sort of muted the Rex swamping around while talking to make it easier to have heard me when all that was swamp grass, not swamp gas. But yeah, I would think that these, like, because you saw the perfectly symmetrical leftover ancient canal, and then like the square rectangular mini lakes, and that's like the main water feature that would be bringing this water in and maintaining the water of the grassland swamp areas, and then that there was the alternating just full water with no plants, so deep water that were these shapes of recognizable figures and animals, and then alternating was higher points, raised, elevated earthenworks of identical, or not identical, but similar, also repeating animals, shapes, figures, but the inverse, the back and forth of both deep water and raised above land, and that it's the marsh in between. I'm saying that marsh, probably by design, this was probably like essentially a giant hydroponic or like terraced, not terrorist, terraced, TERRACE, floodplain for agriculture with very easy dam plug stopping and unplugging flooding for watering things where you literally have to lift a couple of stones. I've seen it's lots of still being used in Asia, as well as some still in South America. I'm also theorizing all the ancient super abandoned ones in South America, as well as in South Africa, the ones that Michael Tellinger documents so much of, all of them functioning the exact same, being leftover remnants from a past epoch of past more advanced megalithic civilization, and that it literally, the way the terrace work and the cascading water works, it's just it's so unbelievably awesome, efficient, and epic, and that these things have lasted for thousands, if not tens of thousands of years, and that we're just too stupid to be putting them, for the most part, to use today. But that when you have the water at the top going in, it's like they have it carved, so it's like either goes in the gutter, flows all the way down as the regular stream, and remains unclogged, unpolluted, and essentially still like primary spring quality structured water by the time it's getting to the valleys or whatever spots. But also you can lift a stone like in between it going to that main part and where it's coming out, and it will start flooding into the first terrace and take all the water down and flood the first terrace, and then and so down and down and down, and it literally floods all of them until you block each one off with the stone, let them dry, and all of that. And you literally have the Asians today, the rice paddies and stuff, where it's rice and they have carp at the same time, like they're fish. So it's like they're getting several, and crayfish, like they're getting farming like 3 or 4 protein animal sources, as well as the grain source as well. And all in one. It's so ridiculously efficient. And the thing is at the end of the season, when they're ready to harvest, they just put the block up at the top so no new water comes in, take the block off at the bottom. It empties and drains absolutely everything, where even the fish and the crayfish and everything are out. Everything is there, and it's so freaking like just the amount of non-time, non-effort, like analog do-it-yourself working smarter, not harder, right? Like using nature geometry for itself. Tetrising nature essentially was what that was or is, and man, I want to replicate some of that myself or reactivate some of it somewhere someday as well. But that in Cusco, Peru, as well as say Sasaquana, I believe it's called, as well as why can I never remember the actual name of the freaking famous mountain town one that I've said 1,000 times before. Brain fart. Anywho, the main center Peruvian mountain city one that has all of the ridiculous terraces even in front of it, and that nobody's using it, and that when the Spanish came and the Inca had fled up and were eventually found hiding up in like I was looking at it earlier, had pictures, come on, this one right frickin' here, how sorry Rex and Geoglyphs, but my god, I need to get some sleep. What the heck? Why can I still not remember the name? Saskatchewan was one, but the one we have up in front that's like I'm literally brain dead because I've said it a million times before. Yes, these are the terraces I am talking about, and that if there was, and see, so these Chinampemas, I know exactly the ones you're talking about in there, and the interesting aspect of what Gerald had gone over a little bit, who several people have brought it up, mentioned it. Oh, William as well, it was. And that I've discussed in major part of my Star Fort, Star Citadel canal theory of it all, is that at the very center of the Bastion battery is the underwater aquifer that sprouts out the water at the center tower point and then keeps cascading down, water falling down each layer of canals and moats in between that we see in the mall. And it would have been the same here. And sorry, back to the point of it, that the pyramids, and that it seems like at Machu Picchu, thank you, Mercy, the Mercy seat, giving me a seat of mercy. Like, how the heck do I forget Machu Picchu's name every freaking time? It drives me nuts. Yet I can list off 1,000 other like obscure sites that nobody knows of, usually on demand, and then each time I have to say Machu Picchu. Oh god, see, already happening again. The one in Indonesia, frick, right? Every single, oh god. All right, I'm not even gonna get into it. Point being, this right here, Machu Picchu, from this angle, highly demonstrating these giant terraces that I've been speaking of. And then can someone please type BurnEye's Twitter handle? I actually have 3 Twitter handles, and all 3 we are live on right now, as well as all 3 are listed in the description links at the bottom of this video on YouTube. And let me see here. I'm trying to get the links for each one for you here. Because how the hell are you supposed to find 3 different Twitters of just one guy when you don't even know what one is, right? All right. Back to what are we looking at? We've got, right, exactly. Any intelligence and especially genius person will not claim to know it all or be a know-it-all. Indeed, anyone that knows anything at all knows that indeed they know not a bit of anything at all, yet alone trying to know all. Okay. We got like, oh man. Right, so look at these step pyramids like this. Could that be terraced agricultural layering? And once again, the point of springs coming out of apparently being sucked out of and being drawn up from pyramids, and where springs springing up from the tops of pyramids, and where these sort of step pyramids in fact cascading down self-working hydroponic systems, possibly. No, not aeroponic, that's spring. Hydroponic, yes, possibly. Why we see lots of the buckets a lot of times. Here we go, Cappadocia in Turkey. This is the ones I was talking about specifically. Like these, like that's what the bloody F. Like these are melted mountain apartment buildings, or maybe they're not melted, maybe they're just really eroded, I don't know, but like that's super advanced ancient last, like they were built by people, like that's just, oh man. And then that, oh yeah, no, they're just like 5-10 stories tall of little mountain apartment complexes that we don't know how they're, when they created, but you know, they're still the best that people can live in today, and they are all occupied. And that, oh yeah, oh, there was also lost 20 stories worth of city underneath it all as well, and they keep discovering more and more of these new multi-layer underground cities throughout Turkey that were lost and carved out, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, you're just like clearing out and discovering more of the single massive macro everywhere network that it is, and that at one point, and they probably mostly still are, you know, this connected to the others. And interesting thought is that if they were building it like this, like it wasn't melted or vitrified, if these were all geopolymer built from the very beginning, could it be that they had like glass or some sort of energy field that where we see these openings, that they were able to keep them covered and pressurized, and that they could have had it pressurized from, you know, the very tops of these and tunneled down throughout the entire macro system potentially. And I'm thinking of that on an initial, or like an initial settler sort of like alien colonizing for the first time sort of thing. Like you're digging sand or rock up, or you're breaking rock down into dust to build it up into the geopolymer structure, tops, supports that you need on the top, while simultaneously digging down into the foundation bedrock, grinding it and building, re-solidifying it into the other part. You know, it's like a 2-in-1. The way Bob Grenier explained that aspect, it just makes absolute sense to me, and to what absolutely all that we see in these sort of cases, that there's no doubt about it, that they were carved out by whoever were the geopolymer people, but that they were carved out on spot probably still, maybe, possibly even with power tools, probably, but ground down and then just reassembled into the geopolymer megalithic polygonal earthquake-proof mega structures that are the caves, the walls, the everything else in between and around on everything that we see with all of these, and why that also really does explain why so often it's like you get straight bedrock stuff and then this unbelievably ornate sort of things. Is that if they were essentially just grinding off that bedrock and then simultaneously able to reattach it in the molded formations to the original, that's just absolute ingenious and exactly what we probably see. All right, and it's everywhere. And like, oh, looky here, eh? Oh, nothing to see here. It's not a giant underground everything in the mound in the house. Oh, look, no chimney there. It's not all inhabited underneath. No, not a hobbit home. Not every single mound everywhere. Domes, right? Just so freaking fascinating because they're so freaking huge and they're everywhere, including Alberta and Montana and Siberia and Greece. Oh my God, who did I accidentally just put in timeout? I did not mean to do that. Oh, Sister Tranquil Vortex, that was an absolute accident. I stupid freaking too many buttons. Okay, you weren't hid. You should be right back. I'm sorry, I did not mean to do that. Freaking just trying to put up comments and it glitched and it hit the wrong. You understand. You're not gonna rage quit on me now. We've been through far too many EBTX streams together. All right. Sharing panel, nonetheless. And shout out to Tranquil Vortex. That Aussie sister got bars 4 days, and they're good. Like, they're actually good. Like, damn good, girl. Gold Coast. I need to go to the Gold Coast one day. It's on the bucket list, as is New Zealand. And shout out to CJDV Chris in New Zealand. And Chris, whereabouts are you in New Zealand itself? Are you able to go be our boots on the ground on the main island and find a lot of the megalithic walls? There's a lot of the polygonal supposed walls, as well as the basalt style ones, I believe. And then there's some sort of like moai or like some sort of indigenous rock monolith, megalith, stone megaliths there too, I guess be the best way to say. If you know of any of them in New Zealand and are close to any of them and willing to get us some pictures and or video, it would be epic. And this call goes out to everybody everywhere, no matter where you are, whatever's around you, just like Shem is doing, just like I'm doing, just like we're all doing. So should everyone. And that's what it's all about. And when we're all doing it, all putting it out, and it's just in everybody's faces that it's not hidden anymore, it's just in plain sight everywhere, then we will hit a critical mass that the sheeple will just accept all of a sudden, like, oh, just like, oh, it's we're everything's just, you know, an algorithm or a simulation, or oh, it's all just a part of God's plan, or it's all just, you know, nothing because, you know, we're a speck of dust and nothing means anything, or oh, you know, things were more advanced at one point and now we're starting to figure it out again, and we're almost getting there again. You know, it's like they'll just switch on a dime and it'll be like nothing happened, and I'll be like, oh, well, now we're part of all sorts of transmutational aliens, or who knows what the heck, maybe transmutational demons or LSD dwarves or DMs, whatever the heck they are. I don't know. Maybe reptoids, maybe feline hominids, maybe canine hominids. I don't know. Hopefully not goat freaking people. That would be weird. But quite possibly ant people. Who knows? I don't know. But I suspect there could be everything and anything out there in the galactic multiverse. We just need to stop killing each other and ourselves before we're allowed to advance out and interact with the rest of existence and creation, and probably our own creation. Where can I find out more about these New Zealand places? Honest to God, Chris, it could be as easy as just hitting Google or DuckDuckGo and saying New Zealand megalithic sites. You'd be amazed how much that'll bring up. Also, maybe check out the same terms, just like megalithic sites in New Zealand on Facebook and or TikTok. That's the one that I can almost guarantee you'll probably be shocked that there'll be like 5 different sites within 20 or 50 kilometers of where you entire life sometimes. Like we're all finding out. It's like Shem, for instance, a whole bunch of pyramids and earthworks of that, like he said, he was crawling around from high school to finding out that they're not on maps, and that there are indeed some pyramids that, you know, he's walked on his entire life. Rambling, where the pictures, here we go. And like, look at that, like, what the heck is this just halfway into the ground? And that we also see this exact same thing, but like carved into the side of a cliff. And they're like, oh, it's like, no, this all has to be like the geopolymer and different stuff like that. What else am I trying to do? Pictures. There we go. Change the picture. And success. This one, another one that I could easily see if they had aquifer pumping up, the water pressure pumping up, and a fountain at the top, and then the water cascading down each of these terraces, easily agricultural terraces, and it's amplifying the structure water aspect, the energy of the water, as well as the field, the electroculture of the area and energy of it. That you could probably be getting 5 to 2. They probably win these macro agricultural, electrocultural, Antiquitech, whoever the pyramid builders were, and when they were built and functioning at their primest, we're probably getting 5 to 10 exponential more yield off of their crops and gardens as our current poisonous ones are, or maybe even more so. Maybe like what happened to the macro my goodness, the lost younger dryas megafauna. Could it just have been we've poisoned it all and put in the wrong frequencies and put in toxins and chemicals and shrunk ourselves? Probably more of the eugenics aspects today. Who knows? But it seems that we have the potential to all grow larger and live longer and all the rest of it. The chance of abundance and easy abundance opposed to the death, despair, and scarcity that we artificially dictate and implement onto ourselves and the world of today. Tragically and irresponsibly and recklessly. Okay, here's another one. This is also at... Are you freaking kidding me? I said it like 10 times and already again. Wow. See, this is what happens when you smoke too much pot in a day, and it does destroy your short-term memory until you go to bed, wake up refreshed again. Oh man, I am cursed. I am cursed. Machu Picchu. God, can't believe it. Machu Picchu right here. That is further down the Machu Picchu mountain, but it's actually this mega terrace, Terrace, terraces, the entire mountain. Like, it's just insane. And that literally you not in this, actually in this picture right here, you can see, and that's actually the waterfall stream going down, and that it's actually carved in that they do have a spring from the very top, like it, this primal water, is that what it is? How does it literally pop up at the top of these mountains? I've always wondered that, hiking in the Rockies as well, that it's like we're told, oh, it's from rain in the water table, holding it and stuff. Yet if you ever actually hike in the mountains or into the springs, or like find the source of the prime water, you see that it's like it's usually popping up at the highest topographical point out of nowhere and just gushing up, and it's like, this is backwards, shouldn't be doing it, yet it's how it's all doing it. It's pretty interesting, but point being that, you put a rock up, waters everything, put a rock down, it dries. Just the way I had seen it, with it still being operated in the same simple but very advanced engineering in its building itself in Asia, that it's like the 10-12-year-old child, just one child's chore for the day would be in the morning to like go move the stone into or out so the water could go in, and then like an hour later go put the stone back in so that the water stops going, so it's it's been watered, it doesn't get flooded, whatever the heck. But it's like it's insane how much land and like actual just water work that gets done. Like, it's compared to, even I'm thinking like on my family ranch and the farms and like the sprinkler systems and how much we still have to like move it around and how much physical labor it is compared to these ancient ones. It's like we're so ridiculously inefficient. It blows my mind every single time you see an example of it and figure it out. But it's about then doing something with it, implementing it, and going forward, working harder, or working smarter, not harder, every time. And if I find a terraced place like this in the Rocky Mountains, I'm definitely going to build me like a summer cabin there or something and start it up, like, God, like, you just literally, it's one day of putting the seeds in the spring, and one day of pulling the plants out in the fall, and everything else is done, and you have a mountain full of food, literal mountain full of crop yields. Like, we're so wasteful and horrible as a species right now. Okay, couple more pictures. Oh wow, 4 hours 32 minutes exactly, 4:32. As I looked, and I was like, man, we're probably at 4 hours, and holy shit, we're already at 4.5 now. Pardon my poopy math. And we still have the full 1 hour. Brooks Agnew, free energy battery electric vehicle lecture to go here. So, and we'll do just a few more of these photos that everything has to be re-questioned, and then what makes sense, what's the simplest, easiest way, and that's what it is. Or what is the only way that something could have been done, that every other way is impossible, but one way that seems unlikely or ridiculous but is actually proven as working. When it's all that remains, it has to be the ways that things are done, even though it may go against many people's beliefs or dogmas or what we've been told or what we tell ourselves in the past. Like, this looks blown, bombed out. Okay, like, where's the overgrown? Like, it's almost more overgrown. Okay, not gonna say more overgrown now, but that is blown up. That's not freaking from the forest. Like, it's like a freaking shelled out apartment condo behind it. Like, this is what like Bakhmut looks like today. Are you kidding me? They're trying to claim that was just lost to the forest. Like, look, that's the government building blown up. They even fixed it. Oh, how did they? Like, what? Man, we are not. Things are not at all what they said they were. And this probably, like, my guess is Guatemala, Honduras, maybe Mexico. Somewhere in there is where this would have been. Like, yes, just fractal ray resonator designs. Like, no. That what is a macro device that is clearly recognized in the exact same schematics and proportions and materials in a micro small size as a patented useful device, while when it's in front of us identical but in a larger macro size, no, that's no machine or any function, silly. That's just because the people that built it at the time believed that it looked cool, so they did it to be impressing their beliefs of gods or many gods. Like, just the shit they claim, it's so ridiculous. That's the archaeology classes was what literally broke my mental straw of the back of the camel the 3 times that I was in post secondary university. I've done 4.5 years a year and a half each time, 3 semesters, and by the 3rd semester, it's like I begin back into like yeah, let's do something cool with the archaeology or like the history or eventually even doing religious studies, looking into it, and anthropology. And it's like you could only ever get like one of them before you just get so freaking angry at the insanity that they were trying to indoctrinate. And I would constantly just gently try to present the real evidence that conflicted what they were trying to say each time. And, it was like it was invisible and didn't exist at all. And I don't know. All right. So Machu Picchu is also the picture in front of us here. And this is the top of the mountain city. And once again, it also is still a terraced mountaintop as well, like a pyramidal step pyramid on the top flat portion of it too, that would fit perfectly into your cascading waters feeding from the very top of it, if it was the way it would be. The aqueduct, right? So Roman Street, which I believe that what they claim as Roman aqueducts and Roman architecture was in fact Atlantean, and that's why they put it as this Roman, to explain why it was all over the world, and that they made up this fictional Rome to replace Atlantis and the history of Atlantis and Lemuria and so forth. And that it was after the last cataclysm reset that they sent out from Rome all the Jesuit orders, which are, if you don't know what the Jesuit order is, that is the secret society order, documented secret society order of the Roman Catholic Church, and it is also the military order by dictate of the Roman Catholic order. It is a secret military order of the Roman Catholic Empire, and it is they own the sovereign between any individual and the creator, right? You cannot own your own sovereign under them. They're going to make sure of it. And if you disagreed, well, they would just send out some smallpox, some fire water, some fire powder, and some genocide, and an army of Spanish, English, and French conquistadors to set everyone straight, whether it was originally the Celts and Druids that, they tried to put, or the Slavics, Vikings as well, okay, the white population, the ethnic, biological white population that Rome, specifically the Jesuit order, tries to put the blame and racial and their own crimes onto. And in fact, it is the control system. My whole point being that before Rome was the power of Rome, I don't think Rome was anything at all, because there was the Celtic population and Slavic populations that literally inhabited all of the areas that were then suddenly and magically flipped into Roman Catholicism. And yet we're told that, Rome first, battled off the evil Druids of the UK, And they also battled off those evil Muslim barbarians and the Arabic and the Moorish. It was the Moors, all and essentially Tartarian, and all the original super ancient, super advanced, most likely peaceful coexisting populations and societies of the world today, or of the past, that were essentially racially biologic, the same root peoples of each world, of each area that we're the exact same that we have been for a very long time, and that we are all coexisting in peace and harmony for a very long time as well. And that it was only after this most recent reset but catastrophe that wiped out that harmonious former racial, multi-society, global or realm-wide trading, traveling, living worlds, and replaced it with the Roman order of monotheism and godly people of the higher class, not barbarian thug Mongols. It's fucked up, but something happened and they hijacked it and they genocided and destroyed everything and every peoples that was around the world, and established indigenous and subverted them underneath them since, and reset. And I believe that to be. Oh my goodness. Do we still have Tranquil Vortex? Did you rage quit on me? Are you still here? Did I? Oh, yes. Okay, you're back. Good. Good. New comments. My Aussie sister. I just wanted to make sure I didn't accidentally hide you, because that permanently I would have been heartbroken. We love you here, sister of the Gold Coast. And a dude. Look at this guy, right? So these sorts are what you might find in New Zealand, CJDV, Chris. Like, these are the Micronesian ones. They're also Indonesian. Perfect. And I gotta have you on one of the next Science of Sound ones to spit some bars. Well, we've got some sound engineers and recording and beatboxing all lined up, and we'll actually get a track done, because your lines are dope, girl. And interesting. So it's like, you want to tell me that they could build the plumbing for these fountains that are still running perfectly for the last how many hundreds or thousands of years since this was originally made, but in the building behind they didn't have running toilet water? No. Sorry, doesn't make sense. Why would you just do it? Why would you do it for decoration but not your home practical use? Like, it's so freaking stupid that we could believe that. Like, it, And this is why the cow is sacred in India. Okay, it is a titan of a cow. It will give you a lot of cheese. Sorry. That was just, I don't know. Can you joke? Can you joke without it being racist? Can you do impersonations without being called a disgusting human. No ill will about anybody, just trying to imitate their accent. Could be, RJ. They use the 3 seashells. It's a joke. Yeah, right? Like Rome is... Like Rome can't get its story together. Like Shem was pointing out earlier. Oh, we have these Roman ruins that all across America that we just decided that we wanted to build and import and imitate these megalithic giant, completely useless, overly expensive at a time that, you know, we don't even have electricity and can't even survive the winters too well. But we're going to build these replica ruins of Roman architecture across America, right? And the UK and Europe. Or wait, no, that was always there before it was just known as Atlantean or Lemurian. And, you know, it was of the past root race or society that then, oh, it is such a beautiful statue, though. 100% it is. Like, it's freaking epic. I sure think so. One point I'm going to put out, though, is look at them eyes almost look a little bit like the Sumerian, Babylonian sort of carvings. So it's interesting that that was in India or Bangladesh, somewhere in that area. I'll keep hiding my pictures on myself. Aha! Is this Sacsayhuama, I believe? Once again, could be agricultural terrace. Potentially. But this one specifically, when looked at from above, is just next level. Like, it's crazy. And where the stuff is, and like no roads and middles of jungles, and like we couldn't just randomly, no multi-millionaire and probably a billionaire would at least go bankrupt trying to replicate one of these megalithic pyramid cities or whatnot that we are discovering in like the ruins of the Amazon, for instance. And when these things, because you see the ancienter they are, the more colored and shiny they are, and that they all used to be covered in gold and silver foil at the least, usually sheets of it, lots of rubies and like gemstones as well on the tops, and you know, I'm guessing mercury involved as well somehow, and they're already in the fractal waveguide generator. So that's how you're taking waves of energy, guiding it down and generating it into useful electrical and magnetic current. And that's what these things are, and they're on the macro scale. And then they are focusing all of that energy, directing it into these resonating bells, and the domes, what's the word I was trying to... Anywho, amplifiers, just the shapes that increase the energy and focus the energies, and that they were of made of metals like the golds, the silvers, the most electrical potential you could have within the macro structures, physical materials. It's ridiculous. Can only dream and do speculative history of what these macro machines would have looked like when operating in their heyday. Focal point, that definitely would have better described what I was trying to state. And yes, it's all getting the energy into the focal point, but then of that focal point, it then like pops it into another. It's not the down. That'll come to me anyways. It's just more functions of it. But that's, yeah, it is all gathering them into those focal points and then putting it into useful, directed purposes and practices of it all. We're just beginning to start figuring out what those are and how to measure them and what's going on all around us. Like the sound waves and light waves that exist that we cannot see. Amplifier, yes. Inverter, all of them simultaneously. And I think it was oh man. Anyways, I probably said it and just can't even realize it. Okay, so these giant monoliths, their antenna, like I gotta freaking get a hold. Email back. He's already agreed. I just have to book it with his scheduler, David Sereda, and the work and research he has done on not just proving, but also figuring out and calculating the exact frequencies that these things are actually putting out just by existing because of all the dimensions. You can get the resonant frequency, and then when you get that resonant frequency and put in the proportionate dimensions of the actual size of the monolith, and you get the wavelength that's in the Hertzian frequency that these things are actually vibrating at and broadcasting out. And for all we know, like, we could be the little automatons, aka drones, that are radio controlled and or blocked from each other or blocked from source potentially. You know, like we're all stuck in our heads. I've had countless different out of mind, out of body, but what's the one I'm trying to go? Telekinetic experiences and telekinesis with others. Quite possibly or plausible at some point that human biology is capable and designed for telekinesis, and that maybe on a different realm or with zero interference, we naturally do telekinetic with between everybody and ourselves, and possibly even nature and other animals, and maybe even the natural consciousness, life, and animals still could even be operating on that whatever bandwidth or wavelength we have broken off our receiver of it, or our converter of the galactic radial energies, where it just comes in as static now. Or maybe these freaking things could be blocking them out, who knows? Or inversely, potentially you could put your head up to one of them, meditate, and it blast your consciousness out into the galactic universal goo that is everything. Yes, telepathy. Sorry, thank you. I knew I was messing that up. Just too late in 5 hours now. Oh my, and it's 1 a.m. That's okay. Oh dear. It froze again. Can you hear me? Why is it freezing? Why do I just randomly have these problems? They're like, no, you cannot talk about telepathy. Okay. All right. I guess this one's going to 6 hours. Or is it? It's frozen again. Oh dear. Oh, computer save me. It crashed. Fuck. Again.
It crashed again.
Oh, no, it didn't. Did it? Yeah. Oh, no, it didn't. All right. Okay. All right. My bad. Weird. Well, it's acting funky, but it didn't quite crash, so that's okay with me. Now, if only Twitter would cooperate. Come on, Twitter. I remember like 15 years ago when they're like, oh, we're advancing, buffering will be a thing of the past. And then like 10 years ago, at one point it was like pretty much buffering was a thing of the past. And then like 9 years ago, all of a sudden it's like, man, why does everything like just suddenly start sucking and stop working as good as the previous ones did and start breaking after 6 months? And then you find out, actually Apple, Samsung, they all sabotage their products to self-destruct after short times and collapse, and most of the computational space running on our personal individual processors, computers, and hardware that we all own, whether it be your cell phone, your tablet, your PC, or your laptop, or your smart appliances. Yes, probably at least 50%, if not 75% of the computational resources and energy and activity going on is actually running backdoor spy freaking goddamn tyrannical bullshit, man. It's fucked up. They fucked. Yeah, well, you can get some right ones. Like if you do it right and know what you're doing, 100%, you can never have an issue, and keep it that way. And that's just to show that if you know what you're doing, you can prevent their bullshit. And I need to get back on that, clean my systems, have them running better. Less buffering, the better. Come on now. Yes, I kind of have too many tabs open too. Oh, I forgot to share my 3 Twitter handles with all of you too. My apology. It's coming. Fasige 112 Brooks Agnew. Please
liked it, and that's what kind of gave us our launch right there. Then we went to the North America Fleet Association show in Minneapolis. I had just started the website like that week, made it go live. So we trailered up the truck and we hauled it to the NAFA show in Minneapolis. We got it on the floor. The show opened the next day, and within 4 days, we had 56,000 orders for that truck. They came from as far away as Santa Clara, California. We thought we had a winner. We really did. So we applied for several Department of Energy grants, which were plentiful in those days. In the early days of the Obama administration, they were plentiful. And